Hey, Green Team students, Mr. Rollins here again. Unfortunately, I will not be in again tomorrow. Miss Hogan has been filling me in as what's going on, so it's been good. I've had communication with her, emails back and forth. Again, I want to stress with all of you, email me, please, if you have any questions or you're stuck. And like I said, Miss Hogan's been great about touching base with me and filling in what's going on in class. I want to remind you that the 1-1 assessment, uh, that's that's been graded. Please make sure you turn that in. I assume you just started turning in. Please turn that in. It's going to affect your grade. At this point, talking to Ms. Hogan here, we should be at the hypothesis should be done, if then because it should be good. You should have this variables piece filled out in PLTW. You're going to do this practice one. Yep, this is the practice one with the vital signs experiment. You practice that to see how you do it. And this right here, I would record all of this, the practice, in our lab notebook. If you could put it in a doc, it's not a big deal, but I just do this right in the lab notebook. This will be under activity 1.2, exploring what's vital in your lab notebook. And hopefully you're able to identify the control with your partner. Now, this will be in depth. When you're writing the procedure, this is going to be very in depth. This was just a practice one. I did 7 steps. Remember, a good procedure is repeatable. I can do it over and over and over again. Okay, so take a lot of time with the procedure. Everything step by step. You should have a lot of steps. Okay, you should have more than my 7. The more you have, the better you'll be. So if you don't think you have enough, add more. Again, they tell you in the notebook what to write down, which steps in the experiment showed you how you use the control. What you're looking at here, they explain to you clinical trials, and these are things when they test out certain things. They have a group that's under control, which they do nothing to because they want to see the effectiveness of the drug or pharmaceutical. Okay. And again, the question here is, should all clinical trials include a control group that does not receive the treatment being tested? Why or why not? Okay, so the benefit of having a group that you do nothing to versus the one that receives the treatment, what could be the benefits or the negatives of that? Put that in your lab notebook, this one right here. Then you're going to carry out your experiment. Data in the data tables, this should be in your lab notebook, okay? Any observations should be in your lab notebook, okay? Record those, okay? These can also be typed out. Like, what do you notice? How is the person before they take it? What do you notice with them during it? What do you notice after? Record those in your lab notebooks. You should be able to get that done. Then you're going to do the key part. You're going to make a graph out of this. It should be graphed. Anytime we do this data table, we're going to graph here. Okay, so you're going to make a graph. So this is data table. This is a practice one. You're going to make your own. You're going to graph. Okay, so make sure that is graphed. Then we're going to do something we worked on in the last module. We're going to analyze the data. What's the data? What's first step one? What's the data show us? Look at it literally. What's the data telling us? Okay, what are the trends? What are your observations? Okay. And they tell you right here, look at trends. What are we noticing? Is there a correlation between our respiratory rate and the music? Or over time, do you see a change? Do you see it go up and down? That's where you should get tomorrow. Some of you might get to writing the conclusion piece. Maybe. Again, these are going to take the longest part of this whole lab as we start to write the conclusion. Okay, and I'm back. Then the next piece will be writing the conclusion. You might get there. We could say this for Thursday and Friday. Okay. I also want to let you know as you go along through this, when you're looking at your assignment, if you look at 1.2, okay, if you look at 1.2, exploring what's vital lab, okay, if I click on that, let me see. If you click on that, what you're going to find is there's going to be a lab guide in there, okay? So if you click in here, you'll have a lab format. So this will show you everything you have to fill. Because remember, at the end of all this stuff in the lab and doing this stuff on PLTW, you're going to put this all together in this doc. This is your whole lab format, okay? Don't forget about this, because at the end, this is where your finished product's going to be going anyway. It's okay if you've done it separately in PLTW, because some of the stuff you can copy and paste. But this will be the final draft. It's outlined for you, tells you everything you have to put in there, okay? If you have any questions on this, just please, get back to me. You should get up to the conclusion for tomorrow. Let me know. And if you don't, it's not a big deal. Well, I want you to get to conclusion. It wouldn't be like a big deal, but let's try to get as close as we can. So that would be graphing and data analysis, and the procedure piece should be done for today. Do you guys have, if you have any questions, email me. Like I said, Miss Hogan's been great at getting back and forth with me with questions. Hopefully, I'll be back sooner than later, but hopefully this works and just keep working at it. I'm impressed with what I'm hearing. Okay, take care.